Welcome to the Rocky Mountain MS Center's special webinar series during the time of COVID-19. Today's topic is the importance of leisure and recreation during COVID-19. This presentation features Emily Nelsen. Emily is a certified therapeutic recreation specialist and the programming director at our King Adult Day Enrichment program. Emily has been with the Rocky Mountain MS Center since 2015 after graduating from Indiana University with a bachelor's in Recreational Therapy and becoming certified. At KADEP, she plans and implements various therapeutic programs such as cooking, craft, fitness, and discussion-based groups. Her goal is to improve the quality of life of the people she serves. If you missed something on a slide, we will be archiving this webinar on our website, mscenter.org, and also on our special COVID-19 education page. We'll reserve some time at the end to answer questions from the audience. You can submit questions at any time by typing them into the chat window on your screen. We will answer as many questions as time allows. Today's presentation is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please note, we will only be answering questions relating to leisure and recreation in this webinar. If you have questions regarding MS, medical care, and COVID-19, I encourage you to visit our COVID-19 education page, where Dr. Enrique Alvarez has 2 webinars answering many MS medical questions. With that, we'll turn it over to Emily.
Thanks, Kelsey. So I first just want to give you an overview of what I'm going to talk about today. So we're going to address the disruption of our routines and why we should create new routines. We'll talk about leisure and recreation and the benefits they have for our overall health. We'll discuss why socialization is important to us and to our mental health. And then I want to help you guys adapt your leisure and recreation activities that you would normally participate in. And then I'll show you how to conduct a leisure interest assessment to help you find more activities that you may be interested in. And then, of course, we'll give you some resources. So first, I just want to address the fact that our routines have been shifted. Our normal routines don't exist anymore. Some of us are navigating working from home for the first time, and maybe we feel like we should be getting more done than ever since we don't have the interruptions that would normally come with our work environments. Some of us are trying to work and homeschool at the same time. Some of us suddenly have no obligations whatsoever. And some of us are spending our days alone with only some virtual contact and likely not as much as we're used to having. Routines are really important. They give us things to look forward to and to motivate us to take each day one task at a time, giving us a schedule. I hope this webinar inspires you to create a routine for yourself that encompasses the things that you consider to be productive and important to you right now. You may feel kind of like you're being pushed to be more productive right now. This could come from expectations we have for ourselves, or it could be influenced by things we see on social media or the news, or our neighbor who's out there in the driveway with the chainsaw. It's nice if you feel like spring cleaning or starting a house project, but taking care of ourselves at this time is a worthwhile project in itself. Self-care is productive. The uncertainty of COVID-19 is definitely stress and anxiety-inducing for us right now, and it's going to continue to give us these feelings as the situation evolves and changes. There's a lot of unknown going on right now. Alyssa Berlinger, who's a licensed clinical social worker and an MS educator with us, she had a really helpful webinar a few weeks ago about mental health during these times, and she talked about the importance of managing stress and anxiety, which really ties into what we're talking about today. So if you have time after this, go check that out on our website. Our mental health has physical correlation to our bodies. Stress and anxiety can lead to fatigue, lack of motivation, depression, and specifically those with MS can experience pseudo-flares and heightening of symptoms that you may already be feeling. Participating in activities that bring you joy can help us manage the effects of COVID on our life right now. So leisure and recreation can help us manage those feelings, but what if we're not feeling motivated to participate in them? For example, I know that I like to read, but sometimes I don't want to. We need to intrinsically motivate ourselves, and what that means is we can motivate ourselves by doing something that is naturally satisfying to you and that you enjoy. We like to do things that we enjoy. We would rather do things that we enjoy than things that we don't, so do more things that you enjoy. I also like to be outside, so if the weather's nice and I can take my book outside on my porch, that sounds pretty appealing to me, and I'm more likely to do that than read a book on my couch. You could also come up with a little reward system to motivate yourself. For example, telling yourself that you get to have a sweet treat that day if you work out, or you can only watch your favorite TV show while you're working out to kind of push yourself to do the things that you know makes you feel good. You can keep a journal of what you do each day, which will not only help you keep track of what day it is, but it can also help you make sure that you're doing things that you want and need to be doing to take care of yourself. Some people find it motivating to have someone to hold them accountable for the thing that they want to do. So maybe if you live with family or a roommate, you could let them know and have them kind of hold you accountable for maybe you want to read for 30 minutes a day. You could text a friend every time you read. Maybe that would help. Set goals for yourself that help you do the things that you enjoy. We can also hold ourselves accountable by socializing and participating in recreation with our friends, even from a distance and through a screen. Leisure and recreation are important for maintaining and improving brain function and health. This is especially important for the MS population, as we know that many people experience symptoms relating to cognition. So break it down. We're going to talk about cognitively stimulating recreation and physically stimulating recreation. So cognitively stimulating recreation activities can include things like word puzzles, jigsaw puzzles, gardening, learning a new language, playing a game, knitting, painting, or even a simple activity that's new to you and requires a thought process to learn it. These types of leisure and recreation are going to help maintain and improve attention span, or like attention to detail, which is what helps us be able to drive a car or concentrate on the task that we're doing. They can help us maintain or improve our memory, which allows us to recall names, remember where you parked the car at the grocery store, or remember something long enough that someone told you to be able to then go and write it down. Cognitively stimulating activities help us with language to help us find the right words to be able to express ourselves. They can help us maintain or improve our processing skills, which help us react quickly to dangerous situations or quickly calculate if we've been given the correct amount of change while shopping. They also help us with visuospatial skills, which help us be able to read a map or envision how we want to rearrange the living room so that all the furniture will fit and you can still see the TV. As you can see, our cognitive functions also control many of our physical functions, so it's important for our overall health to keep our brains healthy. So physically stimulating recreation, in this case, could be thought of as like moderate exercise and includes activities like yoga, running, walking, dancing, biking, hiking, or anything really that gets you moving and your heart rate up a little. These types of exercises can maintain and improve cognition in all the ways that we just discussed. It can help us view our lives as meaningful and important, thus improving our quality of life. When we participate in physical recreation, our brains actually release endorphins, as well as dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, which boost our mood and mental health and reduce the risk of depression. Physical recreation improves our sleep quality, consistency, and duration, which helps us have a more regular sleep schedule and feel less fatigued throughout the day. And finally, physically stimulating recreation reduces short and long-term feelings of anxiety. So let's go a little bit more into other benefits of physically stimulating recreation. I'm talking moderate to intense exercise here. So for those of us who already have this type of recreation built into our lives, it definitely still looks different trying to participate in these activities with the current stay-at-home orders. If you're a biker or a runner, you may still be able to participate in these activities while using a cloth face mask and practicing social distancing, as long as you're responsible about where you're doing it. We don't have access to many of the tools and the programs that we use to get our workouts in, like gyms, for example. This is important for us to be able to adapt our situation and find ways to still move our bodies. So get out those soup cans and that gallon of milk. The other day I actually used my 1.5 gallon laundry soap dispenser to follow along with the circuit workout video I was watching. It worked great, highly recommend. You can use the many resources that have been created digitally and we have free access to on YouTube, and some gyms put out videos you can follow along with too. If you weren't big into exercising before the stay-at-home orders, but you're feeling the need to be active, do some stretching. If you can safely walk up and down your street or around the block, get out there. Breathe in the fresh air, listen to the birds. I guarantee this will boost your mood. We all know there are many physical benefits to regular exercise. Especially with MS, it's important to keep moving and do what you can and what feels right for your body. When you're working out and living with MS, it's important to check in with how fatigued your body gets when you participate in different types of recreation to make sure that you aren't pushing it too far. But exercise is really good for us just to keep our bodies moving. So it can help us manage our weight, whether we're trying to lose it, maintain it, or gain it. It helps us get stronger or maintain strength, which will help keep our brain using those pathways that are so vital to keep us moving. Exercise also helps reduce the risk of some health conditions, including cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome, as well as some types of cancer. It also helps our body to be overall healthy and just ready to complete tasks that we do every day, like walking up and down stairs, stepping down from a curb, and just other things that we don't even really think about. It can also help reduce our risk of falls. These are all risks that come with sedentary habits like sitting all day and watching TV, which seems really easy to do these days. Small amounts of TV are fine, that's recreation too. But see if you can challenge yourself to do some movement for part of the time that you're watching TV, even if it's just stretching for 5 minutes or sitting up tall with your back away from the couch to practice good posture. Anything that you can do is better than nothing. So moving on to socialization, which definitely looks different now. Socialization is a really big part of our everyday lives and is often involved in our leisure and recreation activities. Being social can positively impact our physical health in a more indirect way. Oftentimes when people participate in active recreation or exercise, we have a group of people that are either supporting us by participating or cheering us on. Many people prefer to work out in a group because it helps motivate us and it's more fun. So socializing can help us to have healthy habits like exercise in our life, even if it's from a social distance. Social contact has several benefits on our brain health and mental health, which I kind of lump together here. It helps us with memory formation by giving us interactions to create memories of, and it also can help reduce the risk of depression, stress, and anxiety. Reducing stress and anxiety are important because we know that they can lead to conditions like heart disease, asthma, and obesity. So adapting. We already talked a little bit about how routines are good for you, and I want you to think about your daily routine before COVID-19 blew up. So these are questions just to think about. How can you change your schedule from before while giving up as little as possible to meet the needs that we have now and the stay-at-home order. This is going to look different for everyone, and maybe there are things that we can't adapt, or there could be many things that we could add in. What things do we not need to change at all? So this could be how you choose to cook your meals, or what time you wake up and go to sleep. Which things can you do at home that you normally wouldn't? So probably this is your workout routine and your social time. And maybe there are things that you really can't do right now that you were looking forward to. For example, going skiing. You could reflect on your previous experiences and remember what they were like. So maybe you have a video or pictures from your ski adventures, and now you have the time to edit your video and watch your videos. Or if you can't do that, maybe you want to watch the 50 Project with Cody Townsend on YouTube. So take a look at how you can adapt your routine to fit the life that we're living right now. Here is a list just to give you some ideas about some of the ways that your recreation and social time can be adapted. So there's all kinds of free platforms that you can use to have video contact with the people you choose to socialize with. Some of the popular ones are Skype, FaceTime, Zoom. I've personally mostly been using Zoom because I can share my screen with my friends, and then we can do workout videos together, which is really fun. People are having Netflix watch parties so they can watch a movie together and then still interact as if they were in the same room, but they're not. You could have a book club and then still come together virtually. Some people may have a lot more time to read or listen to books right now. I know we don't have access to libraries right now, but if you have a library card, you can still access books through various book apps that you can either download a readable version or an audio version. Hoopla, for example, is one of those apps. Also, if you're a member of the Talking Book Library, you can access books through their app. It's called BARD, B-A-R-D. Other examples, you can have dinner parties or tea parties where you can dress up and enjoy a meal together. There's Jackbox, which is kind of like an online group games that you can play through a smartphone or TV. You could go the old-fashioned route and find a pen pal and handwrite letters back and forth. Some people are having PowerPoint parties where they create a presentation on something that's important to them, and then they can all come together and share it with each other. People are having virtual birthday parties and bachelorette parties. You could even have a midday dance party if you wanted to. You could do a scavenger hunt with your friends and family where there's a list of things you have to find in your house, and then you can all come together and share what they were. So those are just some ideas. I'd like to encourage you all to do what's called a leisure interest assessment. And this is an assessment that we often use in recreational therapy to determine the types of leisure and recreation activities a person is interested in. So it usually looks like a list of a bunch of leisure and rec activities, and then the person kind of goes through the list and marks off which ones spark their interest. So I want you to spend a little time thinking about the things you do that make you happy, and specifically the types of leisure and recreation activities you enjoy. It helps if you can write them down and make a list of your own. The list could be things you're already doing, activities you've done in the past, or even things that you've never tried before but are interested in learning more about. I'd also like to encourage you to check out the Rocky Mountain MS Center COVID resource list that Kelsey's put together. I'll have her talk a little bit more about it in a minute. You can use this list to get some ideas of recreation that you can participate in that is accessible to all of us through this time. So pick a few of those activities that you've chosen and make a commitment to yourself that you'll include these in your routine. Then make a routine. When you make a routine, you want your days to try to have some things in common. For example, we know from sleep studies that it's important to have consistent sleep routines of when we go to bed and when we wake up. So start there. Wake up. Let's say at 7. And then what? Maybe you want to listen to a 10-minute guided meditation video, or you go straight to making coffee and something for breakfast. Then at 8, you start working. If you aren't working, then maybe you read for an hour, and then you follow along with a 30-minute stretching video, and then you call your best friend, and so on. The content of your day can vary. You could try different types of recreation too. However you choose to do it, make sure that leisure and recreation have a place in your quarantine. And now I will hand it over to Kelsey to talk more about her resources.
Thank you, Emily. If you have a question to submit, I'm going to remind everyone that you can do that now using the chat window on your screen. Again, we're going to be unable to give specific medical advice. If you have questions relating to specific DMTs and your MS care, please discuss these with your neurologist. You can also check out this webpage that I have up on the screen now. This is our COVID information page, and it's got all of the resources that we've collected during this time. We've got the 2 webinars featuring Dr. Enrique Alvarez answering MS questions about COVID. It's got a link to the webinar that Alyssa Berlinger did, Managing Mental Health. And then also this highlighted link that I have is the resources for you and your family. This is a document full of all kinds of information. We're going to go into a little bit of detail about them. So the first tab is, at the top you can kind of navigate through the different tabs, and this is just screenshots of part of the list. There's more online. So the first tab is informational, and it links to sites that discuss COVID, as well as a variety of comorbidities, government pages, business assistance. This is kind of the serious tab. On the physical and mental wellness links, we have health hotlines, the crisis number, some caregiver resources, and then the rest of the resources on this page are separated into mental wellness and physical wellness. So many different companies right now are offering free or special pricing or introductory periods for their programs and apps. I've tried to keep this list pretty affordable. Almost everything that I've listed is free. The mental health section has some articles and then also anxiety apps like Calm and Headspace, which both have a lot of free content. Underneath the mental wellness that you can't see on this screen, there's about 20 different links to various fitness video channels. There's websites, YouTube channels, all sorts of things, including some specialty ones like yoga for people with traumatic brain injury, MS fitness specific links, and children's workouts. We know that physical exercise is one of the best ways to build new connections in your brain, so it's vital that you keep trying to get in some movement into your day, even when you're spending time at home. This is my favorite cartoon so far about getting in more steps when you're at home. The next section is my favorite section of the whole document, and it's the Things to Do tab. It's currently got 52 links of fun things to explore online, and I'm continuing to add to this as I come across things on the internet. So the first section is zoos, parks, and landmarks that have live cams and virtual tours. I'm sure some of you have run into the videos of penguins running around the zoo. There's just lots of really unique and interesting experiences happening right now online. We have a whole section devoted to unique online experiences. Some of them are things that are new or temporary that different organizations are streaming, things like musical performances, plays, or musical performances from the musicians' homes. You get to see inside their recording studios or their living rooms. These are unique experiences that can provide a nice touch of novelty during this potentially stressful time. fun little cartoon about novelty when you're not able to leave the house. We've also got a tab that has information on getting supplies and emergency food access. If you've got children at home that you're not used to feeding lunch, there's lots of schools and websites that are providing food resources. So please look for those if you are in need of them. And finally, there's a tab that has a compilation of other resources or other resource compilations out there. There's some really fun groups out there. You can virtually ride Disney rides, you can go on virtual field trips, all sorts of collections that people are putting together. I'm also going to suggest a couple of things from our website. This is our Informs magazine. We publish it 4 times a year. And these 3 issues in particular I think would be interesting. We did an issue on leisure, maximizing lifelong brain health, and exercising your brain. And those can all be found on our website. I'm going to go ahead and put the tab back up with the COVID information website in case you need that. And now we'll move into some questions. The first question was submitted before the presentation. Emily, a lot of what you said seemed like it could apply to people who don't have MS as well. Would you agree that leisure and recreation are important for everyone?
Yes, absolutely. All the time, and especially now.
We've also had a question about kind of expanding on how to socialize when you're home alone, when you live alone. And I'm just going to jump in real quick and just kind of give a little bit of my experiences. The Zoom and the video conferencing was not a thing I was really into before this, but now I've done the virtual tea party. I had a friend put up a video conference call, and we all watched the sunset together. We've played virtual games through Jackbox. It's been interesting to kind of see how much you really can do over video chat. But Emily, do you have any other things to suggest or talk about?
No, I would add to that just saying video chat may be a little difficult to learn how to use at first, but there are definitely YouTube videos that you can search that will kind of walk you through how to set up a Zoom account and use it. And if that's not for you, even just simple phone calls to the people that you care about, as much contact as you can have is great.
And Emily, I know the KADEP staff has kept in close contact during this time. What are some of the most creative ways that you guys have seen or done yourselves of getting people to engage in adapted leisure activities? Kind of what's the most out-of-the-box stuff you've seen?
Of getting people to be involved in recreation?
Yeah,
is that the question?
How people are doing it, adapting leisure activities.
I think kind of some of the things that we've talked about, watching videos or doing cooking tutorials. We've been, doing Zoom meetings with clients every day, which it's, really just nice to see everyone's face and check in with everyone, even though we honestly don't have a whole lot of new things to talk about. Just kind of being lighthearted and doing brain games and music trivia and, just enjoying our time together.
Awesome. And I'll add too, if technology is not your favorite thing, Emily mentioned being pen pals. Personally, I've made a few cards and sent them out, and it brings me joy just to know that I've sent out cards, and then usually that prompts the person when they get it to give me a call or a text to let me know they got it and that it brightened their day also. So it's kind of a pretty long-term project if you're interested. With that, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Emily, thank you so much for your time and sharing your expertise. Everyone,
Thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you very much.